Okay, the Ledge Group, LLC, the Ledge Group, Series LLC meeting has now been called to order on 1/2/2017 at 7:09. Executive Board, can I get a second? Second, approved. We are now moving forward. Good evening and welcome to the Ledge Group first meeting relative to committees and the work that we are going to do. What I'd like to do is run through the agenda for the evening for the purpose of meeting minutes as well as the standard operating procedure. So tonight's agenda includes the call to order, which has already been approved and moved forward. Secondarily, we're going to move to the Executive Board introductions. After the Executive Board introductions, we will speak to the corporate structure. Under the corporate structure, we will discuss the NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement. And in addition, we will then discuss the LLC, the structure of the organization and how that looks and works, okay? We will then move into new business, Jamaica, administrative teams, as well as scheduling committee meetings, and finally, question and answers, and then we will propose the adjournment of the meeting. That is the full agenda for this evening. Are there any questions? And does the executive team agree with the reading of this evening's agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. The agenda is valid. So what we'd like to do is do an executive board introduction. Everybody knows my name and my annoying voice. I am Peter Brown. I'm the CEO of the Ledge Group. I've been in IT, in technology for 25 years. I've worked with just about every technology, moved phone systems, networks, everything. I've been in alternative energy and power solutions for as long as they have existed, as well as been focused on hemp cultivation, hemp legislation, and I have been active in relation to pushing forward the legislation in many states in the United States of America. And so that is myself. I'd like to introduce you to the other members of the board that we have on the call. We have our compliance officer, Sister Akosua Me'at. If you would introduce yourself briefly, that would be awesome.
Thank you, Peter. Good evening, everyone. I am the corporate compliance officer for the Ledge Group. My background is in law. I am from the Caribbean originally, here in the United States now, and really responsible to ensure that we are in compliance as far as possible with all legal and administrative and other topics relative to the Ledge Group, not only here in the United States, but also internationally. So, of course, as a team, we all work together, but that is my role. So thank you so much, and I look forward to working with each of you.
Awesome. Thank you, sister. And before any of you wonder, she said she's a resident, but she goes back and forth to the Bahamas regularly, and we can't stand her, so that's what it is. Next, we would next, Malika, if you would be so kind as to introduce yourself and kind of describe what it is that you do.
Hi, my name is Malika Jones, and I'm the executive assistant for the Ledge Group. I have over 20 years experience with providing clients with executive level coordination, communication strategies. So I'm just here to help keep this puzzle together and collect all the documents and everything that's needed in order to get us successfully started and up and going.
And each of you will become very familiar with Malika, as she will have an intricate role in just about everything that we do. as an organization. Okay?
In this meeting now, y'all.
Now, I do not see our chief.
Okay, that'll work.
Okay. I don't see our chief technology officer. I would like to further introduce Lisa. Please introduce yourself and speak a couple words.
Good evening. I'm Lisa Finklia, also known as Peter's wife. I have been in multimedia for over 15 years. I write, I've been published. I also do graphic design, image editing, and I do text layout. I can build a magazine from cover to cover with everything in it. And that's pretty much what my experience is and what I'm giving to, what I'm sharing with the Ledge Group, including my multimedia experience.
Excellent. Thank you. And so we have other members of the Ledge Executive Board. We have a sister who is a chemist and an FDA compliance officer today. She is a member of the Executive Board. We've got a host of really talented individuals, and I will tell you that it is very necessary. I couldn't do any of this by myself, nothing. And so we are a team, and we depend on each other, require each other, and hold each other's feet to the fire as it relates to kind of moving forward. So you will become intimately familiar with the entire executive board, as we will be in your committee meetings, and furthermore, so you will meet us virtually. My guess is it will not be too long before we all stand in the same place and embrace. Okay? And that is the executive board introduction. I propose moving forward to the next element, which is the corporate structure. Can I get approval from the executive board?
Yes.
Yes.
We have 2 seconds, so we will move forward. The corporate structure in relation to the Ledge Group. The first element, and again, we've reserved element of this session at the end for Q&A. If you have questions, I'm going to ask that you write those questions down. They're very important to us and everybody on the call. So I'm going to ask that you write those questions down and save them for the appropriate time slot, and then we will address them. Okay? NDA, first topic. That is the non-disclosure agreement. In this session this evening, we will not be revealing any corporate assets. Nothing that we are planning, none of the details associated with what we're doing will be disclosed in this call tonight. What this call is designed to do is to put in place those things that we need so that we can comfortably, and each of us, share ideas, share information, and grow and move forward as a group. So the first step to that is the non-disclosure agreement, okay? The non-disclosure agreement will be distributed to you after you send an email to the executive assistant, Malika Jones. Her email address is hempinitiative@gmail.com. We'll have it posted in the room in a moment, but that is hempinitiative@gmail.com. What we'd like you to do is send an email to Malika requesting the NDA, and she will send you a copy of the NDA, at which point our Chief Technology Officer is going to put instructions in the room as it relates to how to e-sign that document. If not, what you can feel free to do is you can print that document, sign it, and then send it back in to Malika Jones at hempinitiative@gmail.com. Now, most important, do not ever sign anything that you do not read. Take the time to read it and understand it. What we are going to do and what we are doing here is going to expand us in areas in which we never expected. I've been in corporate America for over 20 years, and guess what? Every role that we have in our officers group, I have seen and interfaced with. Every single one of these individuals I've seen and I've watched, and the entire time I've stood by the door and have never actually been involved with it. Well, today it is a new day. Each and every one of you will be CEO of your own organizations. This is not an initiative that is seeking followers. This is not seeking followers. Each of you will become leaders. Each of you will engage in industry, not just business, industry, okay? And so in order to move forward cohesively, effectively, and ensure that we protect all of our assets, we require that that NDA be signed. After the NDA is signed, the deadline for the signature of that NDA is when it coincides with when I come back from Jamaica, which will be 1/11/2017. So I will be returning on January 11th. We expect to have all of the NDAs signed and returned back in at that time. The reason being, we are restricted. I can't say to you some of the things and some of the details that I would like to, right? There are a lot of things that are moving, a lot of things that are happening, and there are a lot of minute details that we want to share with you. We can't share that until we have that NDA in place, okay? So again, just to restate very quickly, we will not be sharing any corporate capital, any of the things that are designed to turn profit, to make money for this endeavor. We will not share any of those things with you this evening. The only time that those things will be shared with you is when we have a signed non-disclosure agreement in place with you. Okay? Next is the LLC. The Ledge Group LLC is what is called a series LLC. And I've shared in the group a few times, and I highly encourage everybody to get an opportunity to read a PDF that I shared, which dictates or delineates Donald J. Trump's business practices, how it is that he doesn't pay taxes, and how it is that nobody can determine accurately how much money he makes. Well, what Donald J. Trump, President-elect, has is a Series LLC. The Series LLC allows us to have, and we've already done this work, we have paid for our LLC, which is $1,500 setup and $800 a year maintenance. We have paid for that. What that allows us to do is build infinite child LLCs below the parent LLC. This is exactly what Donald J. Trump is doing. He builds child LLCs below the primary. So what does this do for us? What we are doing here and what we are about to embark upon is a model that has never been deployed before. The Series LLC is a relatively new model, new business model, and while it's used, and certainly Donald J. Trump has benefited from it, it's not really widespread. People don't use it as much as they could. Furthermore, they don't really understand what they can do with it. So, the Series LLC allows you, or allows us to give you an LLC. That is a business. You will have everything that every other business has. You'll need to maintain meeting minutes. You will need to construct a board. You will need to have a charter. You will need to have and maintain a mission statement. All of these things are prerequisites. And the reason that we are in this meeting and in this session today is for you to understand and be influenced by the standard. In order for your LLC to be legal, you're going to need to follow suit. There are specific things that you have to do. Those things you are being influenced by this very minute. Every brick will emulate and look like the brick directly next to it and above it. The beauty of a series LLC is that no litigation can happen that can affect any LLC horizontally or vertically. So each and every one of our businesses is autonomous and can operate no matter what. Okay? So what I'd like to do is kind of describe what we're doing here in a little different manner. So generally speaking, in Western culture, when people say a pyramid, they have that connected to a negative connotation. A pyramid to them is a negative connotation. It's a bad thing. Okay? From the African perspective, the pyramid was an amazing and wonderful work. What we are doing is we are building a pyramid, and I want you to, for a second, visualize what it is that I'm describing. The ledge group is the capstone. That is the top. It is the parent organization. Okay? Each level below the capstone serves an individual purpose for themselves and for the group. So one person in Kentucky may wish to make toilet paper, and one person may wish to make jeans, and another might want to make sneakers, and another might want to make just fabrics and textiles, and another might want to make health and beauty aids or dietary products, whatever it may be. Each and every single investor of $400 has the ability to create their own LLC and their own business model. The ledge has nothing to do with your business. All it is that you are a child under the ledge. You've got an LLC. You have the assistance and the consultation of the groups above you. You have the experience and the services available to you from the parent organization. This is value-add services from the parent, okay? So what does that look like? What does that mean? It means that each of you that spin up an LLC for a business are going to need tax services. You're going to need tax preparation and accounting, right? Profit loss statements. So guess what we'll do? We will start an LLC, and that LLC will be an expert CPA. And guess what they're going to do? Their LLC will become an accounting firm. And that accounting firm has 100 clients. And those clients are us, each of our individual LLCs. Now, because they're a part of the group, we're not going to pay what the street pays for our tax preparation and our accounting, okay? But guess what? That accountant has 100 clients off the rip. They don't have to service anyone else ever, and they have a viable business that will last forever, okay? And this is exactly how we intend to do everything. We are going to need a travel agent in order to be able to handle foreign and domestic travel for every single one of our LLCs. We expect that you're going to do business across the globe, okay? With that in mind, we will need a central travel agent that is going to be able to get us the best deals, that we can trust, is going to get us hotels where we're not sleeping with foxes and donkeys, and we are going to be able to count on this travel agent to handle all of our travel needs. So again, we stand that travel agency up so that they are able to service the entire LLC. From taxes to IT to legal to marketing to a chemist to business formation, travel, virtual office services, all of these things become available to you as an LLC, okay? So again, somebody in the earlier session said, Where do we send our $400, how did they say it? $400 fee is what they said. $400 is not a fee. $400 is an investment. And for that investment, what you get is the ability to be a distributor, an independent distributor of all of the 50,000 hemp products that we are going to develop, okay? All of those are going to be available to you in a white label capacity. So what that means is, if you decide that you wanted to do lotions or oils, then you're going to get a bucket of cold-pressed oils with which you can distill your products, put on your brand name, and market it under your business. Nobody else has that product. It is yours. So think Beatrice Foods, right? That is your product. And every single product that is developed, you have distributor rights. You have the right. So again, when we think of models, think of Amway, right? Think of Amway. You've got direct access to all of the products that we harness and develop all throughout the world. Furthermore, again, as we mentioned, you have access to tax assistance, IT, website assistance, legal, marketing, chemical, and chemist, and the various things that we're working on there. Business formation, travel and virtual office services, okay? The $400 investment provides access to a myriad of consultancy services, okay? Furthermore, what it does is it provides buying power. So so I've kind of illustrated, you know, the LLC and why it makes sense. Again, no one can be sued either vertically or horizontally, okay? As we move forward, as you create your boards, because again, each of you is going to be a CEO of your own board. How does that work? What does that look like? Okay, if you are investing $400, then you become a wholesale distributor, and all the products available in the catalog are yours in a white label capacity. You can take them and sell them as any way that you want. Some of the oils, and I won't go too far, are going to be so pure, yeah, you can step on them as if it was old school, right? And we was on the block. So you're going to build and deploy your own products, okay? So that's the $400 investor. We have a lot of people that have an awful lot of land throughout the United States of America. And guess what? The Ledge Group doesn't intend to own any land. We don't want to own land. Uber is the #1 ride-sharing company in the world, and yet they do not own a single car. We're going to use the best of every model that we have ever seen to build the largest hemp-producing nation in the world, and we are non-contiguous. When I say nation, I speak about a nation comprised of the diaspora. It is all the people of the diaspora. So we have eyes in Jamaica, we have eyes in Uganda, in Nigeria, in Kenya, in South Africa, in Ghana, in Sierra Leone. We have eyes in Venezuela. We have eyes in Guyana, in Haiti, and all over the world. We are having conversation in the name of bringing to them facility that will do a couple of things, that will increase the standard of living for the people that are there. It will produce jobs instantly for the people that are there, and it will give them a share in industry that is coming there to be profitable. And this is exactly what we plan to do all over the earth. Now, all consumable products will be developed outside of the United States of America. The FDA and the United States is unable to get out of their own way. In 1932, Popular Science said that the hemp industry was $1 trillion industry. That was 1932. That remains the truth today. The United States of America, the FDA, the feds cannot get out of their own way. They can't figure out a way to make it profitable. They can't figure out a way to ensure that it is regulated. So as a result of that, they are losing out, and they are choking innovation and industry. So what the LEDGE group is going to do is absolutely not stand and wait for them to get their act in order. This is absolutely no part of our contract here. We will not. We will produce consumable products all through the world. Dr. Sebi was healing and curing people from Honduras for years. We have clinics that are set up all over the world, in the Bahamas, in Jamaica, in Africa, all over the world. The truth is that there is nobody that comes to the United States of America to get well. No one. No one. They don't come here to get well. They come here and get sick. When they look to get well, they go to other countries. They go to Cuba. They go to Honduras. They go to the Bahamas. They go anywhere but the United States of America. So again, we are not going to stand and wait for the United States of America to get out of her own way. Hemp Inc. in North Carolina spent $20 million building their facilities, and they are in a holding pattern, waiting for America to get out of their own way so that they might capitalize. We will not do that. We will go internationally, and we will build industry right now. When they are ready to get out of their own way, we will be ready to prepare and produce products here. But now, does that mean that we are focused completely on foreign interests and foreign soil and not domestic? Absolutely not. I spoke about the $400 investment and how everyone becomes wholesale distributors and runs their own business, and your children and your children's children step into that business. But if you are a landowner, which we would like to convert every distributor into, if you are a landowner, then what we're going to do is we are going to evaluate your land, evaluate what the potential is, what we can make, and then you will have an option of choosing whatever it is that you'd like to make. Would you like to do fabrics? Up to you. You want to do toilet paper? Completely up to you. Whatever it is that you want to do, the LEDGE group will evaluate your business plan. We will look at the feasibility based on the land, how much it costs to level that land and get it ready to move forward, and the LEDGE group will invest in your land. We will put equipment on your land. Okay? Very simple. What do we do for that equipment? The LEDGE group is going to provide you equipment on your land. We are potentially going to provide you seed for you to be able to grow. We are going to provide you training for you to be able to do what you need to and produce what you need to. We are going to provide you business consultancy services. We are going to provide you tax services. We are going to do all of these different things. What do we take? The LEDGE group reserves 51%. You take 49%. Done deal. There is nothing in the world that you will ever engage yourself in. There is no business model anywhere. You cannot get into bed with any corporation anywhere in the world and take 49% of that profit. You can't do it. That is what the LEDGE proposes. We intend to build you and build us at the same time. We intend to build the CPA and build you at the same time. We intend to build the travel agent and build you at the same time. We are going to build them in Jamaica. We are going to build them in Africa and all over the world. And each of us will eat and each of us will profit. Brother Fuquan, what we're going to do is, and I apologize you weren't here to hear all of it, we have a Q&A that is available at the end of the agenda. And at that point, it'll be open for everyone to ask every question. I would urge you to write down your question, hold it, make sure that you ask it because it is important to not only myself, but everyone on this call. Okay? So that speaks to the LLC, right? And that was an overview of the corporate structure. I propose to the executive team that we move on to the next section, which is new business. Can I get a second?
Second.
Yes.
Second is approved. We are moving on to the new business section. New business will include a couple of conversations, Jamaica, the administrative team, scheduled committee meetings, and then finally the Q&A. Okay? Jamaica, again, we do not have in place signed NDAs, so I will not be sharing with you the minute details associated with what we are doing day one. Okay? I will share with you that we anticipate our time frame to initial products in the area of 120 days after I've returned. About 120 days after I've returned, give or take some, there should be products that we have in hand. Okay? Jamaica, the place that we are going to, is a place that has not had a crime in 275 years. We are going to the land of the Maroons, and these people are the people who overthrew colonialism and fought so fiercely that the British created a treaty with them that said, we just ain't coming over there ever, ever. And so neither France, Britain, or Spain maintain any colonial hold or power over these people and the land that we are going to in 2 days. They write their own laws. So I am meeting with the chief as a first stop. Okay? And in meeting with him, I am bringing him some gifts. I'm going to bring him the same gifts that they famed in the Bible that they brought Christ. I'm going to bring him frankincense and myrrh and amber and some natural gifts to introduce myself and the Ledge Group. We are also going to bring some books for their library there in Accompong. Okay? We are going and meeting these people where they live, and we are a very different group that has ever approached them. They have been approached by Europeans, and they have pushed them back. They are not interested in the Western way of life, and they do not want it in their location. We intend to go there in an entirely different posture. We bring to them prosperity. We bring to them jobs. We bring to them infrastructure upgrade, and we don't bring the change associated with the Western world. So where we go and the places where we begin to have conversations, the conversations will be very different than the conversations that have been had previously, because we are their brothers. So we come not to exploit, but to share. They've got resources, they've got abilities. We were born and raised in the belly of the beast, and we know their tricks. So we know everything that they know. And so what we intend to do, this format, this agenda type, the method in which you hear us meeting, where we have a call to order, where we have a roll call, where we have a mission statement, where we read the agenda items from the last week, where we have reports from every officer that describes exactly where they are relative to the deliverables and any dependencies, so that we might speak to all projects, the progress, and be able to accurately chart exactly where we will be 1 week from now. So there is a standard operating procedure that we follow, and each committee and every LLC below the parent will follow the same standard. This is how we maintain legitimacy and legal status in the United States and throughout the world. So Jamaica is our first stop. On the docket for this upcoming year, I can't even begin to tell you how many stops we're going to make and where we're going to go. Me and Lisa visited 10 states this past summer. I guarantee you it's going to be 10 countries or more this upcoming 2017. So there is a lot of work, there is a lot of promise, there is a lot of opportunity, there's a lot of eyes and countries and people that are looking on and asking us to come and sit with them to explain what it is that we plan to do. Okay? All members should ensure that they have their passports. As we begin to deploy equipment and put equipment on the ground, so some of you have land here in the United States of America, and that's awesome. What we'll do is we'll communicate and we'll figure out exactly what you want to have on your land. And guess what? We'll put the equipment on your land that is necessary, and you will be in business for the rest of your life, and your children and their children's children will always run that industry that you own. Okay? But at the same time, some of you don't have land, right? But we have a place for each and every single person. We are about to put equipment on the ground in Kenya. We're going to put equipment on the ground in Nigeria. We're going to put equipment and facility on the ground all over the world. Well, I got to tell you, I'm a good man. I'm a trusting man. I don't trust enough to put $50,000 worth of equipment with no oversight in the middle of Nigeria without knowing who's there. I don't trust that much, right? So with that in mind, we are going to need to dispatch people. So those people who are interested in repatriating, please, you speak up, because we have places for you. Everywhere that you might want to repatriate in Africa, we've got a place and we've got facility for you to be able to take control. So all of these things, all of these options are on the table. We can do all of these things together, okay? So now, the next element is the administrative team. Malika, if I could have you speak to the administrative team, the needs, what's going on in that regard.
I'm on the road right now, and I don't have a good connection. Sister Rakoso is going to speak for me.
Awesome.
Okay, great. Thank you, Malika. Family, the administrative team is headed by Malika, as she stated. What we are doing with each committee, and I think there are now 15 of them, we require an administrative assistant to assist us with the taking of minutes. And so I think we require now about 10 additional persons for that effort. And so we're asking, please, that you send your email addresses to Malika at hempinitiative@gmail.com in order to ensure that we have the representation on the committees of persons who can take minutes. Minutes are an integral part of what we do. They help us legally. They help ensure the separation of all of the LLCs for compliance purposes, and we really do need to ensure that our records are well kept. And so please, we encourage you to join us in this important effort by sending the emails to Malika's address at hempinitiative@gmail.com. I'm not sure if there's anything further on that I can add.
And so did we speak to the need for administrative assistance? So in every committee, we currently have 13 committees, and my guess is that that will probably grow. And I will share in the room the link to form, which will allow you to choose what committee you would like to be a part of, where you think you would make the most difference. In addition to that, I'm going to share a skills form. What can you do? And furthermore, there's a final form, which is land in the ledge group. Who has land? So what we want to do is we want to figure out exactly what we have. But from an administrative standpoint, in each and every one of our committee meetings and in each and every one of our LLCs, we are going to need to have an administrative assistant who is capable of keeping minutes. What was said, what were the amendments, what were the proposals, what were the agenda items, what were the deliverables, What were the dates of those deliverables? And this determines how we move forward cohesively. This is how it's done. So the administrative assistant is an integral part of every organization. So we encourage you, if you are interested or have any experience in these areas that I'm speaking of, in the areas of administration, we need many. We have 8 currently. There are 13 needed before we can get these meetings going, get them standardized, and ensure that we're all moving forward in the same place. So if you're interested at all, or if you have any experience in relation to administrative assistance, please feel free to send an email to hempinitiative@gmail.com and mention the fact that you it should be referencing administrative assistant, and Malika will reach out, organize, and get some meetings set up so that we can standardize and get these committees formed. Okay? The committee meetings are contingent upon a couple of things: the NDA being in place, as well as having an administrative assistant. Yeah, please, everybody mute your microphones, please. I got it. As well as having an administrative assistant in place to record minutes and to help steer the direction of the sessions. Okay. The deadline to have the NDA back in and signed is January 11th. That coincides with the return from Jamaica. At that point, I can share with you details as it relates to business models and various things that we are able to help you with. Now, we also, some time ago, in the group, some of you may have seen that we spoke about an asset trust. Okay, I'm kind of backstepping a little bit. An asset trust was a model that we were looking at and still are absolutely going to utilize. But the logic was, so we wanted to form a series LLC first. And what that does is it protects all of our business interests and assets from legal suit, right? There's only so much anybody can get from our organizations, and they cannot sue or affect anyone horizontally or vertically. So none of the bricks next to you can be affected. None of the bricks above you can be affected. That's great protection, but there's more needed. And the more needed is the asset trust. The asset trust provides protection from any attachment, whether that be from IRS, any god or government cannot touch any asset that exists within an asset protection trust. So the Series LLC that we have formed will be placed under an asset trust. The reason that you do it this way is because any organization, any lending institution, any business that sees you give them your EIN and it sees it's an asset trust will not do business with you. And the reason being is they know that no matter what goes wrong or what happens, they can never win in a court of law, not against an asset trust. They can't touch anything that they own. So an asset trust as the forward-facing component will be an inhibitor. Nobody wants to do business with you. So what we do is we create the series trust first. The series trust first. So that is the forward-facing entity. Okay? After that, we develop the asset trust. The asset trust has the series trust placed underneath it. So while when you're doing business out there, they see the series trust, they're good with that, they understand what that is. What they never actually see is that that series LLC, that series LLC is below an asset trust and as a result of it, no one can ever touch any of the assets, okay? Finally, you wrap that up with a nice bow by individually creating a living trust or a living will. The living will ensures that anything that you have ever acquired stays out of probate. So for an example, Prince passed away. He did not have a living will or a living trust. What that means is, it doesn't matter how many surviving relatives he has. It doesn't matter how much wealth he has amassed. 70% of his estate will go to probate off the top. Probate will determine what bills need to be paid, what accounts need to be settled, and who, if any, of his surviving relatives are going to get anything. 70% of his wealth will immediately go to probate. And this is true of everyone that passes away that does not have a living will. I'm talking about your rocking chairs and your plates and everything that you have ever earned in your life. 70% will go to probate, and your children and your family will touch nothing. So what we are doing here, as I said, is we are growing. Each and every one of us is going to grow in the areas that we need to grow. We will engage in fiscal responsibility. In our meetings, we will maintain discipline and order. We will do better than we have seen anyone do in the same arena. Nobody ever wanted to stand on an equal footing with you. No one ever wanted to stand on a playing field with you where it's even. I've had Billy line up beside me on the football field, and I watched him fly. I watched all the trophies go to mine. I watched that metamorphosis happen. Well, guess what? They don't want to see you on this battlefield ever. They don't ever want to see you on this battlefield that we're talking about stepping onto right this minute. And I'm telling you, we're taking this field. When we go to Jamaica, we're placing facility in place that has zero debt. That means any product that we produce, we set the price point. We don't have to conform to anybody's pricing structure or model. We set our own price point. That gives us power beyond any organization on the planet Earth. And we will exert that power and our will. Okay? So a quick restate, there is a very specific structure that we are aiming at. That structure builds continuity where it was intentionally destroyed for us as a people. We build continuity. So the Series LLC, placed under the asset trust, and then finally your living will ensures that 100% of what you build right here and right now will belong to your children and their children's children and their children's children's children. Okay? So now we move to the final element. Actually, we got through this very, very well and very quickly. This is the third time we've done it today, so now we're kind of comfortable with it. I can flow through this thing like there's blood on the murder scene. And so now we have 32 minutes left to this session, and we have already and are entering into the question and answer phase. At this point, you can ask any questions that you have related to what's been illustrated here today. I know there's questions. Don't be shy. We are family. And again, while at this point we speak and meet in a virtual space, we will speak and meet in a physical space. At that point, you ain't going to be able to avoid me. So you might as well go on. Let's get those questions in.
I have a quick question.
Yes, sir. Let me ask anybody that asks a question before you speak, please state your name so we know who it is that's speaking, and then your question. Thank you, sir.
Yes, this is Ivan in Dallas, Texas, raised and born in East Africa. We give the $400 at the start. Are we going to get residual income from the parent company, or it's going to be only from LLCs we set up ourselves?
It will be from your company. It is an investment, and it will be from your company. You do not get residual income from the parent company, okay? So, again, a couple of different models. If you only have $400 and that's what you want to invest, you don't want to do anything else, you want to grow any hemp, you don't want to do any of those things, you simply want to invest $400, that is awesome. What you have the ability to do is set up your own LLC, your own business. You will have the ability to be a wholesale distributor of all of the products that everybody else is creating, okay? If you have land in Africa, land in America, land anywhere, then we will do an analysis and we'll place facility on that land, and you will be a producer of those products. Your products will then be sold wholesale to the distributors, and that person will get 49% of all profits. So when we speak about dividends, the person who owns land actually gets dividends because they're keeping 49% of all that they generate, all of their profits, okay? Without having to purchase machinery, without having to deal with the seeds, with training, with any of those things, they pocket 49% of everything. So the tier that you really want to be at is the land-owning tier. That's where you want to be. If you don't have land and you have the $400, we will build you to that place. If you don't have land and you don't have $400, we are setting up a charitable foundation under which we will be able to raise funds to be able to send brothers and sisters that are coming out of jail and are still eligible, or brothers and sisters that are in the cities that need a different view. We will set up a charitable foundation which will allow us to send them to different countries so they can go to Nairobi and work with the locals there for 2 seasons to grow hemp. And after 2 seasons, which is 6 months, they then have or qualify for the foreign tax credit, which is a $90,000 deduction. So they will get paid for doing their work in Nairobi and for being there. And when they come back with that $90,000 deduction, they have enough money to buy in to the second tier of the Ledge Group. If they stay in that tier and they use the wholesale opportunities, they will move into the third tier fairly quickly. The third tier is where we all want to be. Landowners. Again, Ledge does not own any land. Each of you will own your own land. You will own your own business. Okay?
How you doing?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
This is Jamar Slade out of Rochester, New York. I just had a quick question. How many acres of land would you suggest as far as to build a facility?
So when we say a facility, understand Cargill, which is a giant international facility, a giant international corporation. They're in Dayton, Ohio, and if you were to look at their facility, it is mammoth. But guess what? It only takes 3 acres of land. A facility doesn't take that much. If you intend to do one product, then guess what? That facility takes up as much space as a room. Now, we're not going to put a machine into your house that's sitting there chunking and clanking away while you try to sleep. We're going to put that somewhere else. We're going to put it into a secure facility or shipping container, as Brother Kwan mentioned, and secure that so that that is a stable workplace that is not intrusive and not in your house. So what would be the best? When we speak about hemp, 1 acre of land can grow 7 tons of hemp. and that 7 tons of hemp can produce 50,000 products. So everything that we buy today, everything that we go to somebody else to order and spend our money with, we can make, and that's the goal. The goal is to not only enter the marketplace with all of these products, but to be producing the things that we have been traditionally buying from other people. So now, if we're making airplanes, if we're making cars, if we're designing biofuels, if we're making clothes and shoes and toilet paper and paper plates and all of these products and lotions and shampoos, exactly what do we have to buy from anyone else? If we can produce 50,000 products and we can grow a crop that has the capacity to create food, clothing, and shelter, exactly what do we need any other people on the planet Earth for? We don't. That's right. We don't. This is the focus. Okay? So Maven asked the question, will we be responsible for our own registered agent? And if so, do you get one in your state that we are doing business, or we get one in Nevada, the same state as the parent state? Great question, Maven. That demonstrates great understanding of exactly what we are doing. The Ledge Group is registered at an address of 2905 Lake East Drive, Suite 105, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. Okay? When we register your LLC, and the registration is a 24-hour turnaround, you tell us about the property, where you're at, we register the LLC. Done. When we speak about property, we're talking about assets or land. Okay? Done. 24 hours later, you've got your LLC. It is, in fact, registered in Nevada. If you want to be licensed to do business in your local state, what you have to do is register it in your local state. In many states, it's going to cost $30 to $80. In my state, Massachusetts, it costs $200 or $300. So be lucky you don't live here. But the answer to your question, no, you will not be responsible to get your own responsible for getting your own registered agent. And yes, you will need to set that up locally in your city or state. Okay? The LLC is in Nevada. Your business will be registered completely. You need to spend $30, $50 to get a DBA so that you can do business in whatever state that you are. Okay? Does that answer your question, sister?
Hi, Peter. Can you hear me?
I can.
Hi, this is Renee.
Sorry.
I got a question. Is two of us talking now?
Nope, it's just you.
Okay. It's just me. Okay, I got a question about if I had my own business already doing business as, and I wanted to get under the ledge with my business, would I be able to use my same business and like be under an umbrella with you guys, or how would that?
No,
Okay.
no, that wouldn't work. You can't even move your sole proprietorship under the business.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Okay.
Yeah, you would want to start your own LLC, so you can keep you can keep your DBA and keep the business that you have, but what you do is you adopt another LLC, so that's another business entity. Okay.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So that kind of answers your question, Maven. Your current DBA would not be under the parent organization. There would need to be an affiliation. Okay? You will not get an LLC free anywhere on the planet Earth. Okay? The only way that you get an LLC is setting up that, again, spending that $1,500 and $800 a year maintenance. Okay? So it is a separate LLC. Yes, it would have a separate EIN.
Hey, can you hear me? I have a question. This is Oscar Kelly.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful, wonderful. I wanted to ask permission to share a great market research tool and also a tool that helps small businesses. that I've learned about the past 2 years from a brother out in California who makes it available. Yeah. Okay, the tool is called Small Biz Pro, and Biz is B-I-Z-Z, Small Biz Pro, by a person named Gilbert Buchanan, and he's actually West Indian, and he helps with a lot of African American and Latino small business association companies to help develop them, and he made this program, and I think it might be beneficial to some people, in regards to the ledge. Also, I'm interested in the repatriation. I have my passport. I've done a little bit of travel, but that's something that raised my eyebrow.
I love that, and that's the kind of stuff we need to know. And certainly, kind of, if you have any, if you have any particular places that are of interest to you, because the fact is, again, we're communicating. You can't imagine. I was on the phone with a representative with 3 is a representative of 3 million Maroon Rastafari that live in South Africa, and they control large swaths of land. I'm speaking with people in every country all over the world every single week. So the opportunity exists for you to go anywhere. Again, think about it the way I am, Ashim. Yeah, they want me to send equipment right now to Kenya. I got no assurances. I don't, I didn't grow up in Kenya. I grew up in Roxbury, So I'm probably not going to send a $30,000 piece of equipment to Kenya without having anyone there that I know to catch it and oversee the operations and ensure that our interests are looked after while there. So it is important that we have people that are interested in relocating. So I would encourage you to kind of think about where you're interested in. Because as I said, we're having conversations all over the planet Earth, and we may be able to accommodate. Okay.
10-4.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I also took a note of that Small Biz Pro. That will be included in the meeting minutes as well as the recording, and so that we will be able to utilize that information. And this is what's very important, that we use everything that we know. We use the resources that all of us have. We've developed them, and the fact that you have survived to 2017 is a testament to your resilience. It's a testament to your resilience. So I say we can take it some step further. We can go further, and we can build industry that can never be taken down. Okay? Brother Fuquan, man, you done had questions all night long, brother. I'll let you boy.
Well, some of them got answered, you know what I'm saying, in the midst of other people's questions. But pretty much I could take my current LLC and start using that to invest or donate into these other LLCs, correct?
Well, so we're not going to donate. There's no donations.
Well, no, I'm just using that terminology for the business side of it, because that's basically what it would be like integrated wiring solutions, making a donation to the ledge or to, whatever it is.
So the way to do that is we're going to set up a charitable foundation. And so the way to do that is to donate to the charitable foundation so it's tax deductible for you. So because we're not a nonprofit, any donation that you made, you basically, that's just, you did that because you're a good dude. What we want to do is we want to use this system. We want to use what we saw Hillary Clinton do. We want to use what we see Donald Trump do. We want to use this. It's legal. It's available. We want to do it. So if you're going to make a donation to one of the LLCs, then what that LLC is going to do is spin up a charitable foundation. In many states, in many places, it'll cost you $30, $50 to do so. You'll set up a charitable foundation and you will send money to that. So it is tax deductible for you. Does that make sense?
Oh, it definitely does. I'm gonna look into that for personal, real quick. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
absolutely. Again, as I said, we're going to encourage everybody to set up charitable foundations for their own children's scholarships. A charitable foundation doesn't have to just be Susan G. Komen. It can be for your children's scholarships, and that allows you to engage in fundraising efforts across the world, okay? And that will benefit your children. Yes, the NDA will be sent to you when you send an email to hempinitiative@gmail.com. Now, bear in mind, poor Malika is one little soul, and we've had 3 sessions today that have covered this same data, and I can promise you the young lady's email is off the meat rack right now. That thing is bumping, okay? So bear with her. There's an awful lot of NDAs for her to send out and retrieve. So yes, the NDA will be sent to you by way of email. Just bear in mind it's a human. The sister asked, Amira, what if your idea is not industry? Can you explain that? Sister Amira?
Yes, what I mean by that is you're talking about products produced by hemp. I necessarily don't think that that's my idea.
I don't, so that's really what we do here. That we are focused on creating 50,000 products out of hemp. Now, there are other things that we're absolutely interested in investing in and working with. Certainly, the cultivation of cannabis. There are amazing models that are shaking out that will be, again, multi-million-dollar models, but hemp and marijuana are the trillion-dollar industries. There's nothing in the world that's coming out that has as much promise or lucrative nature. So I don't know. Hemp is the focus here. Industry is the focus, 100% here.
Okay, I understand.
So when you speak about a different model, what did you have in mind? So one brother earlier today is a social worker and works with mental health in mental health care, and determined that he definitely wanted to use his background and his mental health degree, and kind of wondered how that fit. And certainly there is a fit. There is a segue again when you have a crop that creates 50,000 products. There is no industry that it doesn't straddle, whether that be medical, whether that be it doesn't matter. Airplanes, cars. There's no industry that it doesn't straddle. So I'm interested in kind of what you were thinking about as it relates to a business model for yourself.
Well, on that note, my background is in hospitality management, so it's not really a actual product most of the time. It's services. So therefore, that's all I was thinking, like, okay, it's not going to be a actual product that's being produced, like, so to speak, sneakers or toilet paper and everything that you just mentioned. Mm-hmm. But like you said, hemp does produce a lot of other things for building materials. So then that may be a segue where that will go into what I want to do in the long run.
Absolutely. And when you talk about the hospitality industry, I'll tell you, and I'm not going to give away too much, but I will say, as soon as you said it, I'm thinking about a cruise line that is a marijuana cruise, right? Or a resort that is completely marijuana themed, right? Or any of these kinds of things. Yeah, I mean, there's a billion models that can be developed that will take advantage of the biggest industry the world has ever seen. Nothing has had the capacity to build to have the impact like this has. Not gunpowder, not the right angle, not anything that has ever touched human hands has the capacity of this. Okay, so we can find a model. We can find a way. Okay? Hell, if we're going to do a cruise, let's make it a gambling weed cruise. That way, when they get all lit up, I'm sorry, excuse me.
I have a question, Mr. Brown.
Yes.
This is Jamar. This is Jamar again. I think I may have mentioned this in the group. I have organizations that I used to work with that have a very similar mindset, not specifically dealing with hemp, but as far as being more sustainable, getting off the system, being more independent. And these organizations, about 15-year organizations, so they have land all over the world. And it's just members, just like you and I, who join, who own their own land, decide to basically get involved with the organization. So I've already spoken to them, and I shared a little bit about what I know as far as about the ledge, and they've already expressed a lot of interest. And I was just wondering, since I would not own that land, but if they did want to get involved and put a facility on the land, I'm not sure how would I be profitable as far as being able to secure that I will be able to have some type of finances or some type of profit from anything that they produce, even though I do not own that land.
That's interesting. Third party. What I would suggest you do is, because again, 49% is unheard of. Right. Nobody gets that. So my suggestion to you is you cut into that 49%. You take a piece off. And that's the very, man, look, I want to be like you when I grow up, because not only do you not have to do any of the work, right? All you do is sit back and collect. So if you've got a number of those, right, and you say, okay, I'm taking 15% for brokering it, or 20% for brokering it,
okay,
and you got 4 or 5 of those, man, you making more money than all 5 of them.
Okay, that's kind of where my mindset was with that too. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely,
Thank you very much.
Renee asked, are we still open for other investors? Absolutely. Anthony asked, my first question is, how big will a facility have to be to produce bricks? Because I want to start a construction company. Secondly, do we have access to any steel mines? Because I will be needing that for building my houses as well. We've got access to lots of mines. It's amazing. It's amazing. And so I haven't spoken to anybody about steel mines. However, we have spoken about gold mines. We've spoken about diamond mines. They are plentiful in many of the areas that we're talking about. And currently, what has happened is those countries have outlawed the indigenous and natural methods in which they used to mine these materials. So in Ghana, for instance, they have a method by which they used to mine it. Well, the Ghanese government has outlawed their practices relative to mining that gold. And so the only people that are capable of mining that gold in Ghana right now are the Chinese, because they have got the facility. They've got the facility to do it. So the only people that have the legal right to mine gold in Ghana today are the Chinese. So yes, there are mines everywhere. It's really a matter of there's geopolitical moves all over the place. But I can tell you, I'm looking for everything. We want it all. We want the steel mines. We want the gold. We want the diamonds. We want it all. We want to be the biggest players in the world, and we want to reserve everything and every resource for the African. Everything on it or in it or around it belongs to us. And I intend to take that.
Can you hear me? This is Hashem Kelly again.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I wanted to just drop a little something to some of the landowners, because I've known people that own land. One of the things that's really important is to make sure just to take a little effort to secure the mineral rights beneath the topsoil, as well as looking into the air, the restricted, make the zone above you restricted as well. So somebody can't just come over and, poison whatever, water streams, or your plants, things like that, your ground soil, because your mineral rights as well as the rights to the air above your property is also reserved. That's something important in land ownership.
That is correct. The fact is, you don't get mineral rights anywhere. There are many places where you will never get mineral rights. That is reserved state to state. Some states will allow it, some states simply do not. So mineral rights is not necessarily an option that is yours to choose. It depends on where you are. But he is correct. Mineral rights are valuable. Mineral rights allow you to potentially build structure and potentially impede water flow. This is how the old cotton industries and the textile industries ran. They could impede and divert the water flow on the land that they own. The only way that you can do that is through mineral rights. When you have mineral rights, you own everything from the ground to the center of the earth to infinity above you. So mineral rights are very valuable in states where you can get them. There are states where you will never get mineral rights. Massachusetts, you will absolutely never get mineral rights. South Carolina, it's a default condition. So it really depends on where you are. Now, I want to be very respectful of the time. It is now 8:27, okay? Everyone, please remember, you need to send an email to hempinitiative@gmail.com in order to receive the NDA. The NDA should be back in. The deadline for the NDA is 1/11/2017. That is January 11th, 2017. Okay? That is less than 9 days away. That's 9 days away. Okay? That is the deadline for the NDA. Again, we want to be very respectful of the time. There is no deadline for the investment monies. Nobody is going to ask you for them. The monies will, again, in my best estimate, and without divulging too much information, in my best estimate, we will be prepared to create products 120 days after I return from Jamaica. So at 120 days, we want to have money to be able to drop a facility there. Okay, we want to have money to be able to drop equipment there. So in my best estimate, most likely in the next 120 days, okay, we're going to want to have our $400 together and ready to make investments. I will say as well that we are looking to, in tandem, potentially, deploy projects in Africa. So we will potentially deploy one in Jamaica and in Africa in tandem. Okay? So, again, it is 8:28. We want to be very respectful of the time. What I am going to do now is I am going to propose to the executive board that we adjourn the meeting. When we adjourn the meeting, that simply means that we are stopping for the purpose of meeting minutes. We are stopping for the purpose of our recording. You do not necessarily need to disconnect when we adjourn the meeting. It is formality, and it must be done to be in accordance with our bylaws and our mandates. So I propose that we adjourn the meeting. Can I get a second?
Second.
That measure has been seconded. The Ledge Group LLC will adjourn their meeting on 1/2/2017 at 8:29 p.m. Thank you for being a part of it.